All right, guys, time for parallel lines and perpendicular line assignment. Go to share my screen with you guys, and let's make sure this is going and recording. I got my voice on, and the camera is rolling. All right, so look, I'm into parallel lines. I'm on the summary and assignment part, so let's go ahead and get started. I got my notes up right here. Let me get to the bottom of this where I can pick up these ones and finish answering my questions and get going. Let's go.
You've done an excellent job answering our question about what special relationships exist between two lines or a line segment and a line. And along the way, we learned about some special properties between parallel lines and even between perpendicular lines. Let's go ahead and review these properties.
Okay, just that all lines that are coplanar can be parallel, but cannot intersect. Let's see what else. They cannot be perpendicular, or perpendicular. This is just when it's on a coplanar though. So just make sure you understand that part. Let's see. Now, perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines can intersect at right angles. And let's see, skew lines never intersect and are on different planes. Okay, that's how you can, that's answering the lesson question. So let's go ahead and get to the next one so we can do this part here.
This lesson had a number of goals. The main goal was to solve problems involving the relationships between lines. And this required us to do three different things. We saw how to apply transformations to actually construct parallel lines. We saw how to solve problems involving distance from a point on a perpendicular bisector. And we also saw how to identify parallel, perpendicular, and skew lines in three-dimensional figures. All of this required quite a few key concepts, and it'll be important for you to write these down and remember them. The first one we can talk about is perpendicular lines. Remember that perpendicular lines are lines that are in the same plane and that intersect at right angles. We also learned about parallel lines. These are lines that are also in the same plane, but they, on the other hand, in contrast to perpendicular lines, never intersect. Skew lines are lines that are in different planes and that, well, they also never intersect. We also had a number of theorems here. The shortest distance theorem states that if you have a line and a point that's not on the line, then the shortest distance between the point and the line is the length of the line segment which connects the two, and that is perpendicular to the given line. We also learned the parallel postulate. It states that if you have a line and a point that's not on the line, then there exists exactly one line that goes through that point and is parallel to the given line. We learned the perpendicular bisector theorem, which states that every point along the perpendicular bisector of a line segment is equidistant from the line segment's endpoints. And finally, we learned the converse of the perpendicular bisector theorem. This theorem says that if a point is equidistant from the endpoints of a line segment, then the point must be on the line segment's perpendicular bisector. We can use the perpendicular bisector theorem to help us answer this question right here. It asks, find the lengths of segments CD and AB. Well, when I take a look at this diagram, I see that line L is a perpendicular bisector of the line segment with endpoints A and C, because I see this right angle marking and I see that D is the midpoint of line segment AC. Therefore, I know that D is equidistant from the endpoints of that line segment by the perpendicular bisector theorem. And since the length of AD is 32 units, I know therefore that the length of CD is 32 units. That actually answers the first part. And for the second part, where we're asked to find the length of AB, well, I see that line segment CB is congruent to line segment BA, and the length of CB is given as 28 units. Therefore, by the definition of line segment congruence, I know 28. That BA has length 28 units.
Right.
Identify the congruent segments.
Okay, using the diagram to complete the statements, segment, let's see, segment, segment AD must be congruent to segment, let's see, that's gonna be CD, right? Because it's CD, A, and these ones are gonna be the same. So segment AD must be the same as DC. Okay, segment BC must be congruent to segment BA or AB. Okay.
Use the diagram to answer the question.
Which lines are skew lines? Okay, remember, skew lines are on different planes. So these two right here look like if they're gonna cross through each other, so it can't be that one. It can be on the same plane. They're on different planes and they never intersect. So C and E are on different planes and they never will. So I'm gonna say it's C and E.
Skew lines lie on different planes and do not intersect.
Okay, so then that's also B and C. What happened? Oh, A and C also. I missed that one on the side. Oh yeah, we had to do grades today too.
Use the diagram to answer the question.
Are the lines on the diagram perpendicular, parallel, skew, or none of these? L and M are perpendicular, parallel, skew, or none of these. I'm going to say that that's none of those, but they could be, because you can see that they're going to intersect right here at this point, but that's not perpendicular. They are intersecting, but they're not perpendicular, so I'm going to say that that's not. Now, L and N, those ones are skewed lines because, look, they do not cross each other. And then M and N are perpendicular because you can see this is the only one that actually is given. Remember, we can't assume, we have to go with what's given. Okay.
Explain why lines A and B are skew.
Okay, well, let's see. Because plane Q and plane R are parallel. That means that they won't intersect. They're on different plane. They're on different planes. And I put different net, so let's change that. Different planes, and because they never intersect. Okay. Okay, so skew lines do not lie in the same plane, right there. So we did do that. Skew lines do not intersect; they never intersect, right there. Both A and B lie in different planes, plane Q and R. So we didn't state that, but we kind of did in this. We didn't be technical, but we did say that. And then we also said that A and B do not intersect. So it's just like saying these a little bit more in depth. So maybe just be cautious and cognate that you have to be maybe a little bit more in depth. Okay.
Determine the measure of segment QV.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get ready to annotate here. Segment QT, which is right here, is equal to this one. So we're looking to pair up this line and this line. okay? And segment TQ is 26 units long. What is the length of QV? QV. Okay, so we're gonna have to go. We could do a couple different things, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do it the way we did it in there. It was 3x plus 2 is equal to 4x minus 1. Again, I want to keep positive, so I'm going to bring this one over here. So I'm going to go negative 3x here to cancel those out. Negative 3x. And this is going to be 1x minus 1 plus 2. To cancel this out, I got to add 1. I got to add 1. That's going to be 3. These two combined is 1x, so that's 3 equals 1x. Okay, so x is equal to 3. So then I'm going to go ahead and install 3 right here. So 3 times 3 is 9 plus 2. That's 3 times 3 is 9 plus 2 is 11. This is equal to 26 units long. So, 4x times 1. So would this be 4 times 3 is 12 minus 1 is 11? No. Let's go ahead and clear this out right away. So then that's going to be 4 times 8 minus 1. 32 minus 1 is 31, so it's going to be the correct answer is 31. So what I did is you have to do it like this. You have to install the 26 into this, make this an equation, and then solve for x right here to give you a real value of x. So 3 times 8 is 24 plus 2 is 26. So then that makes this 26, and that makes this 31. And this also is equal to 31. Okay, so let's go ahead and this is 31. Okay, so let's get on to the next one.
Identify the unknown measures.
Okay, so 3x and let's see, SV is equal to how many units? TR is equal to 17 units. So let's go ahead and get ready to annotate this. Oops, I'm sorry. Let's go back on this one right away. Oh. What happened to my notes? Huh. I don't know what happened to my notes there, guys, but I'm not going to worry about it right this second. So what I got to do is, let's see. So let's annotate this right here. So this right here, TR is equal to 17. So we got to do the same thing. So 3x plus 2 is equal to 17 minus 2 is 15. So this is 3x is equal to 15 divided by 3. X is equal to 5. So now to get SV, which is this length right here, I can use this one. So this is going to be 9. Why does it keep switching like that? 9 times 5 minus 4. So this is 45 minus 4 is 41. So this right here is going to be 41 units. Q and T. Q, T is the same thing as this. So this X is going to be 4 times 5, which is 20, plus 1 equals 21. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 equals 21. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So this is going to be SV is equal to 41 units. And QT, which is this one, is going to be equal to 21 units. All right. Clear some drawings. Get ready for the next one.
Find the length of segment LM.
What is the length of LM? Okay, LM. All right, so same thing applies, guys. We just got to go ahead and go right here to this. These two right here is equal to 25. So I got to go 14x minus 3 is equal to 25. Okay, so I add 3. This is 28. Divide that by 14, so that becomes x equals 2. Okay, so when x is equal to 2, so 9 times 2 plus 5, so that's 18 plus 5 equals 23. Okay, so let's see, this should be equal to 23. Okay. Good stuff here, guys.
Determine the measure of segment AC.
AC. Okay, so now we do not have any numbers. So now what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to combine, let's see, we're gonna have to do 8x plus 1. I'm sorry, that is not plus 1. That is minus 1. 8x minus 1 is equal to 6x plus 9. So I want to keep it positive, so I'm going to bring this over, so minus the 6x. Okay, so this is going to be 2x minus 1 equals 9 plus 1. I'm going to go ahead and make that a little bit better for you guys, so that way you can see it. That's a plus 1 is equal to 9 plus 1. So this is 2x equals 10, which divide by 2 is now x equals 5. So now when I go ahead and install, we got to look for the measure of AC. So we got to go 3x, which 3 times 5 is 15, minus 2 is 13. But there's 2 of them because this is congruent to this one. It should be actually like that because there's your single line there. So this is 3x, x is 5, minus 2, which 15 minus that is 13. So this is equal to 13 units. And let's see where we're at.
Start by solving for x. The length of segment AD equals the length of segment DC. The length of segment AC is twice the length of segment AB.
I'm already on it. And I jumped the gun and I did not remember. You have to pay attention. This area is 13. This area is also 13. 13 plus 13 is actually 26. So this is going to be 26. And that's totally my fault right there. Sorry, guys. Simple mistake. Simple mistake. I overlooked that.
Analyze Marissa's statement.
Okay. She says that line AD will eventually intersect. No, they are skewed because this line right here will go on forever on this plane, and this one right here, D, is going on another plane. These are on 2 different planes. Remember, if they're on different planes, they will never intersect unless they're on these 2 right here, which cross to the same point and then they become perpendicular. So no, they are skewed. I got a 92, and the reason why I got the 92 is because I made that mistake right there, guys. Hey, add those together. It's this length plus that length, and you'll be just fine. So there's that for us right there. I'm going to stop sharing. I got a 92.9 on my assignment. Made a couple of small mistakes, which is going to happen. I do appreciate you guys. Let's look at the video. Go ahead, and I hope that helps you on how to get it solved. And I'm going to take the quiz here in just a second.